Hold up. My views are my own. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Lightning round. Dangerously close. I told myself I was going to quit drinking Mountain Dews, but I had one right before this because I just wanted to be amped, dude. Because I was like, this is a special occasion. I got Andrew Steiner. All right. My guest today is Andrew Steiner. Andrew Steiner is an internationally touring comedian and actor. He is also known for his viral Instagram, YouTube, and his podcast, Special Quest. He had sold out runs at Rochester and Philadelphia Fringe festivals and was also featured at comedy in Iceland. That's fucking dope. And Glasgow International Comedy Festival. Damn, that's cool too, man. Those are like two places like I want to go so bad. Andrew is currently gearing up to film his first special, Expelled. What's up, Andrew?
Not too much, Doug. How are you doing?
Man, I had this other thing that I wanted to bring up was like I actually added to your bio by Googling you. But before we get into that, man, what was Iceland like? I gotta know, man. Did you meet Bjork?
I didn't meet Bjork, unfortunately, but I did meet some very soft little ponies, and
Cool.
yeah, it was great. Me and my wife went, for Valentine's Day, more or less, and we both performed at this club. I mean, the club was cool, the show was cool. We made a little money, sold some tickets, but the audience was not really expecting comedy. I don't know. I guess we
Oh,
marketed the show a little more drag, like burlesque heavy. They thought they were getting a full burlesque show, so
oh yeah.
they
And then you
weren't.
showed up and you're like, waka waka waka.
Yeah, jokes, hey, laugh,
they're
not
like,
at my tits.
they're like, this dude is not a voluptuous woman in old timey lingerie.
Yeah,
But
luckily my wife did do a little burlesque at the end, so they
oh,
got something. But
tight. Can you, man? What does an Icelandic person sound like? Can you do like a quick impression of one?
I like to watch The Simpsons. That's why my English is so good.
That's really good. Yeah, dude. I always did like, if you complain once more.
Yeah.
All right, man. But like I said, man, I did my research, dude. It was like some guy that didn't get a vaccine came up to me and was like, "Do your own research," and I was like, "You got it, man. I'm gonna research Andrew Steiner." And
What
so,
what am I the vaccination against? That's what I want to know.
you're the vaccination against fucking frowning. That's what
Yeah.
you are. Uh,
Yeah.
oh, I should have mentioned, man. To everyone listening, Andrew's a very, very funny comedian, and I'm glad to have him on the show. But you know what? He's a lot more than that because I've been Googling this guy, and I just Googled Andrew Steiner. It says here you teach theoretical nuclear astrophysics at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and Oak
Oh,
Ridge National Laboratory, which is pretty close to here. Do you just like commute back and forth between New
yeah, I
York and
wish. I
Knoxville?
wish that was me. I wish that wasn't a different Andrew Steiner. But
I
unfortunately, someone is
you,
trying to overshadow me and
I don't
whatever.
I don't think so. Well, there's no photo on here, so I'm not convinced this isn't you. And you don't have to be humble. Here, like I'm just gonna pull up your syllabus real quick because I do have some questions.
Okay, sure.
First of all, I want to ask, do you think that your grading method is fair for these students?
Well, listen, I present them with the rubric at the beginning of the semester. I let them know what I expect. I let them know that Brownian motion is not enough. They need to know about quantum fluctuation. They need to know about Einsteinian physics. They need to know about how quantum entanglement works within a Newtonian system. And they need to know it wrote with like the back of their hand. They can't look at their notes to know the theorems and the mathematics behind it.
That's fair. And I see too that actually you drop the two lowest scores. So and that's from in-class group work. So that's actually pretty fair. And then
Yeah, I'm
the
lenient.
final 35%, I mean, that's a big chunk, but I mean, that's your final. You should be prepared for that. I mean, it's where you test whether or not you know what you've been teaching. But I want to just go on some of the topics of your syllabus. Um, if you could just explain a couple things to me, like I would love to audit your class, but
Sure.
obviously, I don't have time. So
Mhm.
speak to me like I'm stupid, but
Mhm.
that you respect me.
Okay. I mean, I do
Uh,
respect you, and you might be stupid.
I, what is a neutron star?
Oh, so when the mass is too much for the matter to hold up, right? Because it's usually a gaseous core to a star, then it starts to implode on itself, and eventually that'll turn into a black hole, and all light and matter nearby will be sucked into it. But this is the state right before it gets to a black hole.
That's fascinating. Guys, you thought that Andrew was just going to come in here and go waka waka waka, or you might have thought there was going to be a burlesque show. I wish there was a visual component to this because the background,
Oh,
because the background that you have truly looks like a Neil deGrasse Tyson show, like where it switches, like where it cuts to a expert, and they're like a neutron star.
yeah, the Orion belt is right over here, then Betelgeuse is over here over my left shoulder.
All right, so what do you mean when you say beyond the classical Big Bang?
Oh, so in the classical theory, they basically say the universe started 14 billion years ago, but that's fucking idiocy. We obviously now know that the universe is in a constant cycle of destroying and creating itself, and there are multiple universes, and they might be on entirely different timelines than ours, and we get into the mathematics of that.
That's dope. Man, I just had this dude on the podcast from he's one of those guys on Ancient Aliens.
Mm.
But he's got all these crazy stories. He used to be in the Air Force in this like underground base that had like shadow people and shit. And he writes books about the shadow realm. Do you ever fuck with that,
Yeah.
man? Do you know what that is?
I mean, I did some ritualistic magic where I'm trying to summon angels and drawing pentagrams of energy and imagining different angels in each directions with different kind of consciousnesses associated with them.
Fantastic.
I've done that.
Man, this is kind of off topic because I actually had some other things. I've Googled a lot about you. I know a lot about you that most people don't know. They don't know the real Andrew Steiner, but after this podcast, you will. You'll know him. Uh, but I was watching a video you made, man, where you were doing self-defense, I think
Hmm.
using Muay Thai. Are you a
Hmm.
fellow Muay Thai enthusiast?
Listen, I won't say I'm an expert or anything, but when I was 18 years old, I did travel to Thailand to fight and then bitched out after 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm an
No
expert.
shit. Did you fight some like Thai dudes?
No, I mean, I think I concocted myself a really nice philosophical exit from having to fight. I was like, listen, man, I'm a privileged white boy. I don't have to fight to eat, but these guys are fighting to eat. And so if I fight them and I cripple them, because God knows I'm gonna destroy them with my moves, then I'm gonna feel so bad. So I just can't fight, out of moral reasons. I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah. That reminds me of the time that I went to Brazil to like school all those fuckers in soccer. And then, I realized like, it's tough growing up. Like I've seen City of God, and I don't want to like have some City of God guy who's like trying to like, play football to eat. And I'm just over there like, my American skills, dude. So
Yeah, exactly.
I vibe with you on that, man.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I will say this. I dabble in martial arts.
Mhm.
I'm not really super good at any of them, but
Mhm.
Muay Thai is like my favorite. It's like I think it's the most fun, or like it feels the best. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, kicking hard feels great. Throwing some knees feels great. Elbows are fun. It's all good. And sweeping people off their feet from the clinch. That's all fun stuff.
The thing is, I've never done jujitsu, and I know that's
Mhm.
like the supposed, that's the main one, and that's like the shit. Like if you're gonna be a mixed martial artist, you have like that's like a requirement. Uh,
Mhm.
but like I don't fucking want to, man. I don't want to wrestle. I wrestled for a little bit in school, and I was like, I fucking hate this, man. I don't want to do this. So I
Yeah, I both regret and am glad I didn't wrestle in high school because I probably would have become a mixed martial artist if I had wrestled in high school, and I would have brain damage now, and I wouldn't have been able to pretend that I was a Newtonian. I was a theoretical physicist.
Yeah,
You
and your
know?
ears will be all fucked up, man. Like
Yeah.
whenever you meet one of those dudes who's really good, their ears are just fucking crazy looking, and you can't stop staring at them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
briefly
But
worked with this guy who was like a Greco-Roman wrestler in the Olympics,
mhm.
and god damn it, his ears were like haunting, and it was like hard for me to talk to him because like I couldn't look at his like eyes because like my eyes would always like drift to his ear.
Mm. Yeah, my wife has a thing against cauliflower ear. So another reason why I'm glad I didn't wrestle.
Well, it's
But
also
I was
it's like it's optional or it's like voluntary because if you have cauliflower ear, that's because you didn't wear your headgear. You chose not
yeah,
to.
that I wouldn't have worn my headgear. That looks so stupid.
So my Google research
Mm-hmm.
further revealed that you have a Wikipedia page. And
Mm-hmm.
according to Wikipedia, you were born in 1908 and died in 2009. What was that like? Are you okay?
Well, yeah, being dead is actually better than I expected. If I had known that, I would have succumbed to the genocide that my family was subjected to. Because being dead is actually pretty easy. I mostly do podcasts and clog my friends' toilets. You know, yeah, I
Are
literally.
we bringing that up? Because
I'm fine bringing it. I called my friend and told him. I put a sign on the door and everything, and it was a nightmare, dude. Like I I haven't clogged a toilet that bad in years, and I got flashbacks from when I was like 11. I had a bad pissing the bed problem as a kid, and I remember pissing my friend's couch. You know, I was sleeping on their couch at a sleepover when I was 11, and
yeah.
like covertly turning over the couch cushion and just like pretending it didn't happen. Like I got
Yeah.
that vibe. And my friend's dad was like leaving the house. He was like, have a good podcast. And meanwhile, I'm just literally siphoning shit water from the toilet bowl in a little glass cup into the bathtub so I can plunge. Because their plunger was not designed for that tiny toilet bowl. It was like one of these old ass plungers that is like super big, and it's the rubber is old, so it like in order to plunge you kind of have to like jam it in, and then all the shit water is flying everywhere, so I'm just getting shit everywhere, and I feel it's horrible
I've,
right now.
anybody that's wondering why we're talking about this, it's because you texted me and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to be late," and I was like, normally I'm very much a diva about this
Mhm.
podcast, and I speak in third person when I get into that kind of mood, and I go, "Doug waits for no one. Doug waits for no one. This podcast goes on without him." But because it was you, of course, I went, "We're going to wait. We're going to wait for Andrew." So
Thank you.
I just shut down. I just stared at myself in the video screen for 10 minutes, and
I appreciate
voila,
that.
here you are.
And I
So
was trying to get my lavalier mic working and researching that while I'm pumping shit, so just disaster is following me.
yeah, but it's not. It doesn't sound like a Final Destination style thing. I think that I think what you have here, it's not a curse. It's more opportunities for adventure. Because
Mm,
like I'd like to think of it that way.
yeah, it's just a minor annoyance,
Yeah,
type thing.
yeah. It's not like Thinner. Have you ever seen the movie Thinner by Stephen King?
No, but I remember seeing the video cassette case.
Yeah. So there's this guy, and he's like this like big fat lawyer, and he runs over a gypsy, and and so she's like, it's like the 90s, like I feel like you couldn't get away with this shit now, but she's like, you're fat, and so your punishment is you're gonna keep getting skinnier. And so at first he's like so stoked because he's like he like can eat all he wants, and like all he just gets skinnier. And there's like a joke in the movie where he's like, I'm on the new diet called eat whatever I want, and he loses all this weight. And it's like it's also funny because it's like a really shitty like early 90s fat suit, because those Stephen King movies from that era are like all like very poorly budgeted. uh
Yeah. Who's that starring? Jack Black?
Fucking somebody, I have no idea. I don't, it's someone that you would have known the name of if you were like your grandpa would know his name.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I always thought that was an interesting looking movie, but not enough to hold my attention for an
I
hour and
mean,
a half.
Jesus, maybe if you were gonna like sit and make fun of it, I don't, I don't even know how it ends because I don't think I've made it that far. Um,
Fair,
but
fair.
let's, enough about Stephen King, more about
Yes.
you. My Google search for Andrew Steiner further revealed that you are the senior vice president of business development and membership services for AdvaMed. You're
Hmm.
responsible for overseeing the organization's general membership relations and non-duties initiatives. Can you give me an example of a non-duties initiative?
Sure. Well, sometimes we like to show up at orphanages and inject them with nanoparticles to see
Mm-hmm.
how being unloved like affects your immune system. So that's one of those.
You look different in this photo. Uh, it says prior to joining AdvaMed, you worked as a regional sales director for International Data Corporation, where you were responsible for providing market intelligence and consulting advisory services to Fortune 1000 companies headquartered in the New York and New Jersey region. Does that make you feel like ashamed to be a Fortune 1000 guy instead of a Fortune 500 guy?
Well, listen, 500 is half of 1,000, so we're better, we're bigger, we're
You're
more.
right. You're right. You're right. Um, Well, I don't know. Do you want to say anything else about AdvaMed? I'm kind of over AdvaMed. I don't even know what
Yeah.
AdvaMed is.
Probably evil, probably some evil corporation.
No, this is actually what I really do want to talk about. So,
Okay.
I mean, like I spent some time looking into you in your past. My Google research also revealed that you first fell madly and passionately in love with cheese while working as a waiter at Joachim Splickel's legendary restaurant Patina, an enthusiastic, quick learning cheese lover. Can you tell me about the specific moment that you knew that cheese would become your lifelong passion?
Well, I was actually diagnosed as lactose intolerance at the age of 7, and I battled through that through sheer force of will and using acupuncture to decrease my immune system response to cheese and lactose. And I was so passionate about cheese even as a child that I knew I had to overcome that. And I think it was the first piece of aged Parmesan I ever tried because it had a crystalline structure
Mm,
to it. And I was like, wow, cheese crunchy and good. Because I'd had disgusting crunchy cheese before that had been dropped in kitty litter. But then
yes,
it completely changed the way I thought about crunchy cheese and kind of the way I saw the world.
that's fascinating. And so that's why you decided to work at Joachim Splickel's restaurant,
Yeah, Johann
Patina.
Spleckel was a real great guy. You know, he had a paddle for a hand and a duck for an ass.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if there's one person who, it's he'll give you the shirt off his back. Johann
Yeah,
Splickel will. But look, here, I'm gonna ask you a serious question.
sure.
Uh, fuck Mary Kill. Sharp cheddar, mozzarella, provolone.
Ooh, I definitely fuck mozzarella because it's so soft and wet.
That makes a lot of
Uh,
sense.
marry marry the cheddar because it ages slightly better than provolone, and kill provolone because it smells like wet ass sweat.
That was probably the wisest and most thoughtful answer I think anyone has ever given to that question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Do you have any other cheeses that you'd like to give a little bit of like just kind of thoughtful kind of just discourse to before we move on?
Oof. I like to give a shout out to Asiago from the Tuscany region of
Mm.
Italy. And I'd like to give a shout out to Taleggio and my homie 1,000-year-old tofu because I consider soybean products that are fermented to be the cheese of East Asia. So I don't deny them from my heart and my family.
Wow, that's really open-minded. What do you think about like the cheese that has a picture of a cow on it? It comes with a little wheel, and every cheese is a triangle.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
that was like a very popular cheese in my childhood, but I feel like I haven't seen someone eat one of those cheeses in decades. What's going on there?
I think as America progressed as a food place, like as our food culture evolved and people had access to more and more high quality cheeses that kind of became outdated. I mean, those cheeses are still good if you want to leave a cheese in your glove box for 6 months and have it be spreadable and edible. But in terms of just, if you have refrigeration, you don't need Laughing Cow.
No. Oh, it's called Laughing Cow. That is what it's called. Dude, I don't know if you can hear this on your end, but there's like the gnarliest thunderstorm here right now. It's just like
No, I can't hear
it's
it.
so
Wait,
fucking cool.
where are you?
I'm in Nashville.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this thunderstorm is fucking nuts, man. This is just like I hope the mic picks some of it up. Just a little bit more about you. I promise we'll move on to some more things besides your illustrious past, but I mean, so fascinating. My Google research also found that you write fiction about faith, love, travel, farming, and the Midwest. So my question is, fuck, marry, kill, love, travel, or farming?
Ooh, that's a hard one. That's a really hard one. I mean, kill travel because the Midwest is so great. Like I don't really ever feel the need to leave here.
Why would you ever want to leave?
Yeah, it's
Like,
got everything.
yeah, it's got, especially if you love cheese like you do.
Akron, Paris to North America. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati is the Berlin of North America.
That's
Cleveland, it's the Rome of North America.
the Rome. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so fuck travel.
Fuck. No, kill travel.
Oh, kill travel. Yeah, sorry.
Because I don't need it. I
You don't
don't
need
need
it.
it.
So fuck it.
I would marry farming because, they say stomach is the way to a man's heart.
Mm-hmm.
And without food, well, you can't please the stomach, right?
Right.
And then I'd fuck love because I practice tantra. I practice Christ inspired tantric sex. Yeah.
Yes. That's actually one of the many beautiful secrets of the Midwest is Christ inspired tantric sex. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't know that. So uh thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
I do have a question though. Do any of your students at the University of Knoxville, are they aware that you write faith-based romantic fiction?
Well, they are, and I tell them that actually a classic Big Bang view of the universe is a faith-based practice, as is a modern approach to the universe, because we weren't actually there. We can't actually witness these multiple universes or the end of the universe and it restarting. We can't witness this happening a multitude of times. So, in a sense, physics is faith-based.
I agree entirely. I think it's been said by several quantum physicists, such as yourself, that the more they learn about, quantum entanglement or, whatever it may be, the deeper their faith becomes.
Right, right, right.
That's
What do you think the Holy Ghost is, if not quantum entanglement?
uh, I couldn't imagine another thing that it could be.
Yeah, exactly.
So
There's three particles: Jesus, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and they're entangled.
yes. What do you think? What do you think? Like the Babadook is?
Oh, Babadook. I actually haven't spent much time thinking about it, but off the cuff, I'd have to say it was a type of cheese.
um, I don't know if do you recall when the Babadook became a like symbol for bisexual pride, just like inadvertently? The filmmaker said nothing. Like they were like, no, this wasn't something that we were trying to like Easter egg into this. It just kind of happened briefly.
I mean, I get it because that's what I call it when I go from butthole to vagina. I call it a Babadook, Babadook.
It's the old Babadook,
Yeah.
Christ inspired tantric sex, a Babadook. I also see here that you've had a long career in public accounting. I'm looking to grow my wealth. Should I put my money in a high yield savings account or a money market account, and why?
Oof. I would say high yield savings because, when you're talking about traffic formations, yield signs are much more efficient than
Mm-hmm.
just straight stop signs or traffic lights. So I think that also applies to finance.
Yes, absolutely. I like the do you know those signs, they're shaped like a yield sign, but they just have a picture of a person like getting blown off a cliff.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I really, really like those signs. I wonder if there's any way that I could apply that to my finances.
Right. Well, that's what crypto is. Crypto is being blown off a cliff if you pick the wrong one. But
Yeah.
if you pick the right one, then you're blown up a cliff.
Man, I don't know if there's anything that maybe I find any more repellent than having a conversation about cryptocurrency. So let's get
Mhm.
into it.
All right, cool, man.
I
What are
know
you
some.
in?
I have fucking none of that shit. Absolutely not. Are you in it?
I'm in it. I lost $14,000, so I'm hoping I get it back.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like I lost $14,000 this morning. Like I had a friend. He was an early adopter, so you would think he would have made some money. And the last time I saw him, he came to my baby shower. I had a kid a few months ago, and
Congrats.
and I hadn't seen him in a long time because he got so cryptoed out that he didn't have time for me. He's like, I am day trading, baby, day trading. But he had come over. He's a real smart computer guy, and I'm a real fucking dumb computer guy. So I was like, hey man, I'm locked out of this laptop, and I don't know how to get into it. And he can do that kind of shit. So he came over and he's like, all right, man, I got you in. And while I'm here, I'm gonna set you up with all these like crypto day trader they just like he was like, what's your email? And I was like, nah, but I felt kind of obligated because he helped me.
Hmm.
So I was like, my
Hmm.
email is this, and he's like, great. And now like I don't know how to I keep trying to get rid of them, but they're like, how crypto is like cockroaches and they just fucking spread. And so I'm constantly like learning what that dog coin is down 13 schmeckles, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is fucking ugh. Oh, I just wanted to say that when I saw him at my baby shower, I was like, what's up, man? Like, how's the old day trading? And he's like, I never want to speak about cryptocurrency ever again. I don't talk about it. I pretend it doesn't exist. I'm imagining he probably got himself to some point where he was like maybe like thought he was rich, and then that maybe one of those major craters happened. So
Yeah. Yeah, I was up 15K at one point, and now I'm down 14K.
yeah,
So from my
yeah.
initial invest. So
As, like Tom Green said in Freddie Got Fingered, you got to sell the stock when they're high, when they're very high, you got to sell.
yeah, unfortunately I did not do that.
um,
All they people give the worst advice about crypto. Like everyone I've watched was wrong all the time. Like
yeah,
there was almost never a case when I looked at advice because I was researching it pretty heavily, and almost never were people right about anything. And
yeah.
I did the smartest things when I just went off of instinct. Like that was usually when I made my best choices.
See, I prefer to invest in myself spiritually, like my Christ-based tantric exercises, um, my study of the neutron star and how that informs my faith.
Hmm.
So, it's like crypto. What do you think about this though, man? What about this fucking yeah, I, I know you're in New York, man. You probably know about this shit though. I it kind of went over my radar or under my radar or whatever the fuck it's called. Uh that they turned Staples Center into crypto.com center. Did you hear about that?
No, I mean I see crypto.com on all the UFC events now, but
I just kind of like it feels just like it feels wrong. It feels wrong to turn Staples Center into crypto.com center. Not that
well, I
I'm
mean
like
Staples.
not that I'm like someone that shops at Staples. It's just
uh, I go to Staples now to return my Amazon packages because they do it free of charge,
oh.
and they're so desperate there. Like every time I'm in there, they're like, "Please, just buy something. I know you're only here for Amazon."
It reminds me of when Radio Shack was kind of going away, and it's like you would go in there and it was just the most desperate high pressure sales staff. It's just one guy just trying to get you to buy some like really like obscure battery. He's like, are you sure
Mhm.
you don't need the 17 volt? I'm like, I don't.
No, bro, I don't have a die-hard double-headed vibrator. I'm good.
Well, shit, man. I feel like we've learned a lot about you today. Um,
Yeah.
you got any big stuff coming up?
Yeah, I got a lot of big stuff. I mean, when is this coming out? I don't want to plug stuff in the past.
Um,
Oh,
I don't know the answer to that question, but
okay.
soonish.
I will be at Rochester Fringe festival with my buddy Matthew Silver and my buddy Steve Gerard, doing 3 shows, the 14th, 15th, and 17th. And that's basically it next month.
Dude, when are you gonna come down to Nashville, bro?
I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I've tried
All
to
the
book some.
all the big New York hep cats coming down here, man.
Yeah, I want to do it.
I can link you up with the people that do a lot of the booking and shit down here if you want.
That would be amazing.
Well, then all I ask is, can you do an impression of Ron DeSantis?
Oh, Ronda Rousey, DeSantis, sure.
or America's mayor, Rudy Giuliani.
I've actually never heard Ron DeSantis.
He talks like this. That looks like it has a lot of sugar. And you got to shake your head. It'll help you do it. Looks like there's a lot of sugar. Can you do
God.
Can you do Rudy Giuliani?
No, I can't. I can't do it. I have to hear them. I have to
those are my titties. Those belong to me. Have you seen the shit that came out with those transcripts of him talking to his secretary?
No, but I did see the Borat too when he was 15-year-old girl was on his bed.
Dude, you gotta read the transcripts. So I guess he was having some kind of sexual relationship with a secretary that was immoral or illegal or something. And the transcripts came out, and it's the most fucking off-putting and pathetic, like pillow talk type shit you'll ever hear. And it's like, he's like, yeah, those titties, they're mine. They belong to me, and they don't belong to nobody else. Those are my titties. I'm Rudy Giuliani. I just said to anyone listening in on this conversation, my name's Rudy Giuliani, and these are my titties that belong to my secretary, but they're also actually mine.
Yeah, the jurisprudence of the state of New York has granted me the jurisdiction over these here areoli, and I will further henceforth be investing in their renaissance.
Not only did I save America from the 9/11s, but also the Ghostbusters, they tried to put a nuclear reactor in the building I went and I had it shut down. I am
your
America's
nipples, your nipples look like the Twin Towers falling in reverse. And my fingers are the planes crashing into them.
You could do Rudy, man. I feel like we could do like a Ron DeSantis interviews Rudy, man.
I gotta listen to him. Like, I can only do it.
Okay, how about this? Just who's someone that you think you could just off the top of your head do? We'll do that.
Fuck. I don't do impressions, man. You in all your research, you didn't see that I don't do impressions.
I don't know. Okay. I'm just putting. I'm really. The thing too, the fact that I asked you what a fucking neutron star was and you went ahead and answered that question is I just started to assume you could do anything. I was like, well, he could definitely just do a Ron DeSantis.
Here's Penelope Cruz. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much. I appreciate you all, and thank you for supporting me in my journey as the big tittiest actress alive.
Wow, I felt like I was magically transported to that movie that she was in with Antonio Banderas.
Is that Dusk Till Dawn?
She's in Dusk Till Dawn. She's bad in Dusk Till Dawn. That's the one where Quentin Tarantino gets to like suck on her toes because she like pours a bottle of tequila down her leg and he's like supposed to be drinking tequila off her. And like you could tell just by look. I know it's a movie and I know he's acting quotation marks, but you can tell that was the highest point in Quentin Tarantino's life. He was probably like this. Sure. There's nothing that will ever make me this happy again.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. I mean, Penelope Cruz is amazing, and he's got a foot fetish. So yeah,
and that's probably why, like, Once Upon a Time in Mexico was just kind of bland. He's like, dude, I already fucking, whatever. Penelope Cruz, like, look, it's Brad Pitt and it's Leonardo DiCaprio, and they talk a bunch.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. Thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast today, dude. I am a huge fan, and I fucking wish I could just fly up to New York on a whim. But
dude, I'm a fan of your podcast. I did research too, and I was listening to your podcast, and I actually really love it. I was listening to the Ritual episode. That was such a good episode.
Oh, with Casper Turkile. Yeah, no, he's actually he's influenced me, man. I'm trying to pick a day to be like a no internet, like just completely detox from it. it's tough because like I work a lot. Like I work here in this office that I'm like, this is this
Mhm.
office in my house, and all my work is here. So it's like, I'm fucking tied to the internet. But I don't have to be. That's the thing. Talking to him, I was like, I mean, I don't have to fucking not every single day. And I was thinking about maybe making like Sunday because that's usually a chiller day. Just
Yeah,
being
I want to
like
do it.
I said, I do have a kid, so I can't be like fucking unreachable. But I got an Apple Watch for Christmas that I never used because I didn't know what the fuck to use it for, and now I do. I was like, dude, because an Apple Watch, people can text you on it, and I was like,
Mhm.
and I don't, and it can read your heart rate. Those are the two things I know it does. So I was like, dude, I'll just throw my phone like in a drawer, put on that watch, and then if an emergency arises, I can be reached. But like, at least that way, I'm detoxed off all the internet, the news, all that horse shit, and my
Yeah.
like this tendency I have to just pull my phone out of my pocket anytime that I'm even slightly inconvenienced.
Yeah, same, man. It's terrible. It's not a way to live, and it's the way most of us are living now, and it's fucked up.
Dude, I caught myself the other day. I was like, I went to CVS, and like one person was in front of me in line. One person. It wasn't like, oh my god, I'm gonna be in line forever. I might as well, get my phone out and start fucking around. And so I was like, well, this person's gonna take long enough for me to get my phone out. And then I was like, dude, what am I doing? Like this is like chain smoking style behavior, but it's like been, transmuted into a phone.
It's brain vaping.
Well, listen, guys, if you want to live the kind of life that Andrew Steiner has lived, I mean, I'm telling you, this dude teaches quantum fucking physics. He died in 2009. He's still here. He's still doing comedy. He doesn't do impressions, which is fine. I don't do them well. Uh, I just think they're fun. I think they're fun and funny to do. And what else do you do, man? Oh, and you love cheese.
I love cheese. I farm. I love Christ. I do it all, baby.
If you want to be like this, then you got to detox off the phone one day a
Hmm.
week. Put that fucking
Yeah,
thing in a drawer. Forget about it.
yeah,
All
exactly.
right.
Do
I just wanted to get real preachy right there at the end. Andrew,
it.
Andrew, thank you so much for being on the podcast, man.
Thank you, Doug. Bye.